Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. I got a letter that's not going to make some people happy. A major gun manufacturer is sending, well, at least sent this letter to a state representative asking for the state to pass gun control. Yeah, before I get into it, I want to thank you all for being here. This is Guns and Gadgets, the premier source for Second Amendment news. Please support the channel by liking and subscribing. That's the easiest thing you could do. And if you didn't see my video this morning about how the DOJ just screwed us on suppressors, check that out. I'll link that above. But this video is going to make some people upset, and it has to do with Glock. Yup, let's get into it. This letter was sent on August 19th, 2025 to Representative David Hardin, who is the chair of the House Public Safety. He's a state representative for the state of Oklahoma. And you can see it's in regards to Glock Inc.'s support for machine gun conversion device legislation. It says, "Dear Chairman Hardin, Glock Inc. applauds your leadership in matters of public safety affecting the citizens of Oklahoma. Glock writes to express strong support for state legislation consistent with federal laws that prohibit the manufacture, sale, distribution, possession, and or use of any firearm part designed and intended for unlawfully converting semi-automatic firearms to fully automatic. These firearm parts, also referred to as machine gun conversion devices, or MCDs, by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, ATF, are illegally manufactured and imported by individuals and entities not affiliated with Glock. There is no connection between MCDs and Glock. Glock does not support, endorse, or in any way condone the manufacture, advertisement, possession, sale, or use of MCDs or any other product intended to illegally modify a firearm. The association of our name and trademark with these devices negatively impacts Glock's brand and our decades-long commitment to safety, reliability, and responsibility. Glock vehemently denounces the illegal modifications of our firearms. Glock has and continues to make significant efforts to disrupt the illegal proliferation of MCDs. We routinely identify websites, social media accounts, and other entities advertising and or selling MCDs and issue cease and desist letters based on trademark infringement. Additionally, Glock reports abuse to web hosting service providers and files uniform domain name dispute resolution policy complaints targeting MCD websites to acquire and permanently deactivate the domain names. Glock regularly engages with federal law enforcement agencies and makes referrals, particularly with Homeland Security and Customs and Border Protection, to impede the importation and sale of MCDs. Finally, Glock maintains a robust public safety campaign and year-round digital messaging, which includes awareness about the criminality of MCDs. Glock is fully committed to assisting lawmakers and law enforcement in the prohibition and elimination of illegal MCDs. However, China is primarily responsible for the proliferation of MCDs into the United States, and it is commonly understood that enforcement efforts within China are limited or non-existent. Presently, enforcement is heavily reliant on U.S. Customs and Border Protection to interdict illegal shipments of MCDs and the United States Attorney's Office to prosecute violations of 18 U.S.C. 922-0. State criminal MCD laws that mirror federal statutes would better equip law enforcement authorities to remove MCDs from their own communities. It would also empower state and local prosecutors to charge and prosecute holding offenders accountable without having to rely on the United States Attorney's Office. Glock fully supports state legislation intended to criminalize the unlawful manufacture, sale, distribution, possession, and or use of MCDs, and urges you to join 27 other states in prioritizing legislation to stop the proliferation of MCDs nationwide. Please let us know how Glock can advocate for such legislation and meaningfully assist in this critical endeavor. Thank you for your continued service and attention to this important matter. Signed, Carlos Guevara, who's the CEO and General Counsel of Glock Inc., and Carrie O'Connor, who's the corporate attorney. Now, this came to me from my friends in Oklahoma, Don Spencer, thank you, buddy, and Representative Hardin. I did just have to ask. I've seen Rep. Hardin's name out there before. He's a staunch defender of the Second Amendment. He is an all-star when it comes to supporting and defending the Constitution. And he's even a retired sheriff from Adair County. So he knows his stuff. And he is not in favor of creating a new law banning something that should be constitutionally approved, right? I mean, shall not be infringed means something. Now, if a criminal is making converting a gun to full auto illegally, not doing it the way they're supposed to, breaking laws, that's already illegal. We don't need more. In fact, we need less laws prohibiting the Second Amendment. So I wanted to put this out there, and I understand Glock is trying to distance themselves, like it's known as a Glock switch, but Glock isn't making them. They're not selling them. They're not putting them out on the street. I understand Glock's position as far as, hey, that's not us doing it, and we're trying to, turn people over who are doing it. And it hurts our brand. I understand all that. But to blatantly ask a state representative to get some language and get a piece of legislation going to ban another piece of the Second Amendment, I don't think that's the way we need to go, Glock. And that's just my opinion. I mean, I think that the Second Amendment means what it says, and I think that the Constitution means what it says. And I think that anything that goes above and beyond what our founders and forefathers intended is an infringement. I want you all to tell me what you think. Now, could this also be a direct result of some states trying to sue Glock out of existence? Yeah, it could be. Could this also be Glock trying to, I don't know, for a lack of a better term, save face as they maybe work their way into the good graces of the government and maybe look at some military contracts going forward? Maybe. I don't know. But I wanted to put this out there because I didn't see this until today. But I will say that Rep. Hardin's office verified this. This is a legitimate letter that was sent to his office by Glock. And it's, to me, I think it's just a bad look for any gun manufacturer to ask for an infringement. Just that last paragraph again. Glock fully supports state legislation intended to criminalize the unlawful manufacture, sale, distribution, possession, and/or use of MCDs, and urges you to join 27 other states in prioritizing legislation to stop the proliferation of MCDs nationwide. Please let us know how Glock can advocate for such legislation and meaningfully assist in this critical endeavor. Bad look, in my opinion, very bad look. But you let me know what you think. People think I bash on companies. I am reporting the news. This is out there. Glock put pen to paper saying, hey, you know what, Oklahoma? We would stand behind you banning something that is a Second Amendment protected item. I think full auto shouldn't be regulated by the Hughes Act, the Hughes Amendment. Does that make me a bad person? I don't think so. You tell me. I just think that this is a very, very bad look. They have their reason for doing it, but I know that our friends in Oklahoma are not in favor of this. And, thank you to Rep. Hardin for being a staunch supporter. Thanks to OK2A, Don Spencer and crew for being just stalwarts on the Second Amendment. And more states could be like Oklahoma. And maybe they wouldn't have, 27 other states that are looking to ban everything under the sun because it's so scary. Maybe just go after the criminal. I mean, that seems to be a hot topic here in the last 24 hours. Maybe it's just the criminal. Maybe it's not the items. But you tell me down below. Appreciate y'all. Be safe, stay vigilant, carry a gun to keep you, your friends, your family, your community safe. We are the stalwarts of freedom. We are the bastions of liberty. And if something goes bad, it's us who's going to protect our brethren, not some cop that's got to respond in 13 minutes. So I'll see you all in the next one. Stay free, America. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below.